Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel, or if you are new here, I am Silver Shepherd and I talk about anything and everything gold and silver related. And real quick, let's talk about something that's been on a lot of people's minds lately, because silver just hit $70 an ounce, which is a brand new all-time high for silver. And anytime silver makes moves like this, the same question starts popping up everywhere. And that question is, how much silver do I actually need? Is my stack enough? And can silver really help me retire? And some people get excited by this and others get nervous, and some people feel like they're already too late to start. So today I want to slow this conversation down and talk realistically about just how silver fits into your long-term retirement mindset and how much you actually need depending on your situation. Because there's no one-size-fits-all answer to this, all based upon your own needs. So before we begin, I just want to say silver will not make you rich overnight or anything like that. But if you're stacking for wealth protection, purchasing power, and optionality, this video will give you a lot of clarity on that and hopefully help you get to retirement. So stick around, because later we'll talk about how to calculate what you personally need, common mistakes stackers make at all-time highs, and why storage matters more than most people think. So without any further ado, let's start with the foundation. So before we talk numbers, ounces, or retirement goals, we have to answer why silver even belongs in the conversation in the first place. Because silver isn't a traditional retirement asset like a 401k or index fund. Most people stack silver for three main reasons. The first one is preservation of purchasing power. Silver isn't about beating the market every single year. It's about not getting crushed by inflation over decades. Your dollars lose value, like any fiat currency. Silver doesn't magically just grow, it holds value across times, and it has for thousands upon thousands of years. At $70 an ounce, silver isn't cheap, but it reflects something much deeper, and that's the rising costs, weakening confidence, and long-term monetary pressure. Silver acts like an insurance against all that. Silver gives you options. You're not dependent upon banks, markets being open, or policies staying friendly. You control it. It's a tangible asset that you can actually hold in your hands and keep track of. It's not just numbers on a bank account or anything like that. This doesn't mean that society is ending, it just means that you're prepared for everything. The third and last one is psychological stability. This part doesn't get talked about enough with silver stacking. Owning physical silver reduces panic, encourages long-term thinking, and keeps people from making emotional financial decisions, because emotional decisions usually tend to end up with regret. That alone is very valuable in retirement planning. So silver isn't the entire plan, but it can be a very strong pillar in it. So let's address the question that brought you guys to this video in the first place, and that's how much silver do you actually need to retire? And you'll hear some wild numbers online, like 1,000 ounces minimum, 10,000 ounces you're done, or anything less is pointless. And that kind of talk usually scares people, and it's not actually helpful at all. There's no universal number. Retirement isn't a one-size-fits-all. It depends on your lifestyle, location, expenses, and what role silver plays in your overall plan. So instead of giving one magic number, let's look at the ranges and scenarios. So scenario 1 is silver is a safety net for your retirement. And for many stackers, silver isn't meant to fund their entire retirement plan. It's there to protect purchasing power, supplement income, and hedge against inflation. In this case, people often aim for 300 to 500 ounces. And at $70, 300 ounces is $21,000 and 500 ounces is $35,000. That's not retirement money, but it's definitely a meaningful impact and will significantly aid your retirement. Scenario number 2 is silver as a major supplement. And this is where a lot of long-term stackers land. Silver works alongside your pension, social security, retirement accounts, or other investments that you have. Here you often see 1,000 to 2,000 ounces, and at $70, 1,000 ounces is $70,000 and 2,000 ounces is $140,000. And this level provides flexibility, liquidity, and serious purchasing power protection. $140,000 can go a long ways in retirement, so this is an amazing goal to go for. And the last scenario, scenario 3, is silver as a core asset. And this one is more advanced and way less common. For this one, silver becomes a large store of your wealth, a long-term hedge, and a tool for major expenses. And this is usually where silver gets to be quite expensive at over 3,000 ounces of silver. And this requires a serious level of discipline, time, and patience, and not rushing at all-time highs. The easiest way to do this, or any of the silver stacking, is through dollar cost averaging, where you put the same amount of money in weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, and consistently purchase silver and accumulate it that way, because it will always lead to being the cheapest price paid. And most importantly with this, most people don't need to reach this level. The big truth is that silver isn't meant to replace income, it's meant to protect and stabilize what you already have in other assets. If silver goes higher over decades, that's great. It's amazing actually. If it doesn't, it still served its purpose in protecting what you have. So now let's make this practical for you guys. Instead of asking how much silver do I need, ask what job do I want silver to do for me? And here's a simple framework for that. Step 1 is to estimate your monthly expenses and be realistic with this. Ask yourself, what do I need to pay for housing, food, utilities, healthcare, and transportation? So let's say all of that will cost you about $3,000 a month. And these numbers can go up or down, but we're just using this as a general guideline. So $3,000 a month is $36,000 a year. Step 2 is decide silver's role in your retirement. Is silver meant to cover emergencies, 1 to 3 years of expenses, or inflation protection? So an example for this would be covering 2 years of expenses, and that's $72,000 total, because that's just the $36,000 or $3,000 a month multiplied out. At $70, that's about 1,030 ounces of silver. So if you want $36,000 a year, well, you need 1,030 ounces. And the last step for this is to adjust for comfort and not protection. You don't need to hit a perfect number. Silver stacking works best when it's consistent, unemotional, and flexible. You can build slowly, dollar cost average your way, and maybe even buy a little bit more whenever silver price pulls back. An important reminder is that silver isn't static. Your plan should evolve as price changes, life changes, and goals change, and that's completely normal and should be done routinely. So silver at all-time high creates mistakes fast, so let's avoid them. And mistake number 1 is chasing tops. Buying aggressively because silver is rising leads to regret. Stacking should feel boring, not urgent. If it is urgent for you, you're often going to have regrets later on in the future. Mistake number 2 is ignoring premiums. At $70, premiums matter more than ever because silver is more expensive than ever. Overpaying reduces your flexibility later on. Mistake number 3 is all or nothing thinking. Silver doesn't have to be everything or nothing. Balance wins. You should diversify what you have into different pieces or different things. Mistake number 4 is no exit awareness. Ask yourself, how will I sell, who will buy, and how fast will it move? If you don't know if something will sell, rethink your mix. Maybe sell those pieces and buy back into something that will sell. How do you store silver? Because it isn't just about buying. Protecting what you have is also very, very important. Silver only helps if it's safe, accessible, and protected. So some very basic storage rules is a dry environment, low humidity, using silica packets, tubes for coins, capsules for coins, and sleeves for bars, and avoid handling them too much without gloves or anything like that, just to prevent tarnishing or wear and tear on them. For home storage, you want a quality safe that's fireproof rated and preferably bolted down into the floor in a hidden location. This will minimize the risks if your house were to ever get broken into, and just make it all that much harder for thieves if they were to find what you have. The next thing is diversification. Some stackers split locations, use trusted family, and avoid one single point of failure. With this, you can get a safe deposit box, a vault box, or anything like that. Just know those things do cost money yearly, so it can cost a little bit more, so that can be a huge downside to those types of things. But think long term with your storage. As your stack evolves, so should your storage, just keep it all that much safer. So let's bring it all together. Silver just hit $70 an ounce. There's no magic retirement number, and silver works best as protection, not a lottery ticket. Most people need hundreds to low thousands of ounces, and your personal number depends on your lifestyle and what you want. Discipline beats hype, and consistency beats fear. Silver isn't about timing the top or timing the market. It's impossible to do that. It's about being prepared over a long period of time, whether it's 5, 10, 20, 30 years. If you're doing what you can and trying to be the most prepared as you possibly can be, you're doing something right and you're already way ahead of most people. So now I want to hear from you guys. How much silver are you aiming for, and has that changed now that silver is at $70? If this video helps you, hit the like button. It really means a lot and helps the channel out a ton. And if you want more videos like this 3 times a week, make sure you're subscribed and turn on post notifications. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.